First, welcome to the real story. Now, instead of me just telling you yet another example of how liberal blogs and most of the mainstream media could just care less about the truth so long as the lie fits their agenda, tonight I want to show it to you. This latest example starts out last Tuesday night during my live Texas-Ohio election coverage. I was speaking with evangelical pastor John Hagee. We were heading on into a break, and I asked the self-professed end-of-days expert about the fact that some of the Book of Revelation crazies out there actually believe that Barack Obama is the Antichrist. Here it is. Let me ask you, and this is, because I get so much email on this, and I think a lot of people do, and I've only got a couple of seconds. Then they say, Glenn, you in the media, you've got to wake up. Barack Obama's making people faint and cry and everything else, and he's drawing people in. And there are people, and they said this about Bill Clinton, that actually believe he might be the Antichrist. Odds that Barack Obama is the Antichrist.
No chance.
Okay.
He has a lot of charisma. There's a media love affair with him right now. He is a very formidable political person.
Pastor,
but I believe the best leader for America in the future is John McCain.
Thank you very much, Pastor. Back in just a second. That's good news. At least where I stand, good news. Well, it's good to know that Barack Obama's not the Antichrist. Welcome back to the program. Okay, hopefully you noticed a few things about that clip. First, the entire premise of my question was that people email this nonsense to me. It's no different than, you know, having President Bush on and saying, hey, Mr. President, I get a lot of email from people who say the World Trade Center was brought down by our own government. Odds that that happened. That's not me being a 9/11 conspiracy nut job. That's me giving someone on the right an opportunity to reach out and build bridges to the people who normally disagree with them and say, hey, look on this bridge, look at all the nut jobs underneath. The second thing hopefully you noticed was that I was laughing almost all the way through this exchange. It's called a joke, defined at the dictionary as, quote, something said or done to evoke laughter or amusement. But who needs dictionaries? You know, who needs context when you've got an election to win and an agenda to promote? So let's watch the liberal media now go to work on what you just saw. Step one is a liberal blogger becomes outraged at my comments. He then transcribes them and then sends them to a liberal website, which, despite the 8 research directors and associates listed on their site, immediately posts an alert that conveniently leaves out any mention of the question set up or the context. Quote, today, on his CNN headline news show, Glenn Becks asked Pastor John Hagee whether Senator Barack Obama is the embodiment of evil. Wow, that's funny. We just watched the whole video there, and I didn't hear the words embodiment of evil. Did you? Nowhere in there. But that doesn't matter, because once a liberal blog posts something, it's a fact to the zombies. Step two, the story is then leaked by the liberal blogger to a liberal website, and it's picked up by a bigger liberal website, and this one only took about 1 day for the blog Media Matters to put their own spin on the story. Here it is. Quote, Beck failed to ask Hagee about controversial statements, instead asked him if Obama might be the Antichrist. So now, not only did I not, directly ask them about the Catholic Church and anything like that, I just asked Obama about Obama to see if he was the Antichrist. This is an accusation that is not only asinine, but it is also completely false. May I present the evidence, Your Honor? My very first question to Hagee. Let me just get this right out on the table, Pastor. You've had some problem with the Catholics this week, and now it looks like John McCain, who you've endorsed, may be distancing himself. Can you explain what happened this week and what your stance is with Catholicism? Wow. Wow. I guess I didn't use the, exact comments that Hagee posted earlier, in asking the question, like, I guess the blogs wanted me to, but then I know that the blogs instead would have said, Beck repeats Hagee's outrageous claims about the Catholic Church, and I only know that because that's exactly what they've done to me in the past. Step three, now it's time to take the leap from the liberal blogs to the mainstream media. Most people have known now for a while that Media Matters website, I believe, feeds directly into Keith Olbermann's teleprompter. I'm not sure, but I think then he just reads it like a Disney animatronics robot. But if you ever doubted the connection, take a look at his worst person in the world segment from the night of the Media Matters alert.
The bronze to Glenn Beck, asking his guest, John McCain's pro-apocalypse televangelist John Hagee, quote, "They say, Glenn, you in the media, you've got to wake up. Barack Obama's making people faint and cry and everything else, and he's drawing people in. There are people," and they said this about Bill Clinton, "that actually believe he might be the Antichrist. Odds that Barack Obama is the Antichrist?" Why do you ask, Glenn? Worried about somebody giving you competition?
Notice he never actually played the video of me asking the question. Isn't that weird? I mean, of course, that would require some actual journalism and would have proven that the whole thing was done in jest, but it's much easier just to read the transcript using a funny voice. You know, something that I'm sure that Oberman's hero, Edward R. Murrow, would approve of. Oh, there, did I just do it again? I just used sarcasm. I am so sorry. So I could clarify for the blogs, Edward R. Murrow would have despised Keith Olbermann. Clear enough? Step 4 is the classic technique where you report on how someone did a story about your report. The day after the Olbermann segment ran, Media Matters then issued another alert. Quote, "O'Reilly, Beck receive honors in Olbermann's worst person segment." Now, you might think that reporting on your own report might be the last step, but then you've forgotten about the biggest liberal blog of them all, called the New York Times. They ran an editorial in yesterday's paper, the Sunday edition, about Obama. And you guessed it, they used my supposed question as evidence of how pervasive the hate has become. Quote, "Obama and the bigots." Yeah, now I'm a bigot. The rumors circulate enough that Glenn Becks of CNN asked the Reverend John Hagee, a conservative evangelical, what the odds are that Mr. Obama is the Antichrist. These charges are fanatical, America's own equivalent of the vicious accusation about Jews that circulate in some Muslim countries. Great. So now I'm being tied to Middle East propaganda about Jews eating Arab children. As I look at it on the plus side, this may be the first time the New York Times has ever reported that there is propaganda against Jews in the Middle East. So that's on our favor. The worst part about all of this is that no one is less surprised than I am. I've been predicting for months that a mere mention of Obama will have conservatives branded as racist and bigots, and I predicted the whole Antichrist controversy on my radio program less than 2 weeks before it happened. Listen to this.
By the way, this is all going to be transcribed by Media Matters today as a completely dead serious conversation.
I know.
It's going to be great. There are going to be media alerts. Glenn Beck announces Obama is the Antichrist. You watch. It's going to be everywhere.
And now it is everywhere. And to people who rely on the liberal hacks who are disguised as journalists for their news, it has become the truth. And that's the problem. While it's easy to blame these blogs and television hosts and everybody else, maybe the real question that we should be asking is, what does all of this say about us? What does this say about the willingness of progressives to think for themselves? It's one thing for the blogs to lie. It's quite another for them to know that they'll never be caught or held responsible.